Week 12, ladies and gentlemen, week 12. And gonna throw in the chat real quickly, let everyone know you can ask all starts and sits. Tyler's gonna be pulling up in a second here. Gonna go through the injuries of the week, gonna go run through that and how it affects players as well. If you still have trades, personally, in most of my leagues, my trade deadlines have passed, but if you still have trade questions, you can ask those as well. Yeah, Tyler. Yeah. Okay, Tyler. Okay. You see how it is. Let there be light. Tyler, obviously you're going to get in. I assume you're going to be here shortly. You said start the chat. You literally told me to start it. What's the ETA? What is the ETA? I mean, we're under 15 minutes. We're under 50 minutes till kickoff here. People need to know their starts and their sits. Okay, people, we're going to run on through it here. We're going to run right on through it. All right, 2 minutes. That's what I expected. I barely even said anything. I've given no educational purpose to the people watching right now. But I will say this. Mark Andrews is out for the year, and we may see an explosion out of Zay Flowers the rest of the way. Zay Flowers becomes a must start this week. And I think he's going to be heavily involved in that offense. Would have done great last week if it wasn't for a long touchdown that was called back. And it's Zay Flowers season. Still a young rookie who is more involved earlier in the season is kind of quieted down as of late. Trying to find my list of injuries. Trying to find them. Eh? Oh my God. All right. Why are we following at Jake? That's what I want to know. Why are we following at Jake on Twitter? He's getting the unfollow. Anyways, another major injury this week. T. Higgins, or not this week, but obviously T. Higgins is now out for the season. They're shutting him down. And what does that mean for Tyler Boyd? What does that mean for Jamar Chase? What does it mean for the fact that they don't have Joe Burrow either? What does it mean for that offense? Honestly, that offense probably is not going to be great the rest of the way with Jake Browning, whatever the hell that guy's name is. But regardless, Jamar Chase still is a must start, and that's pretty much it. Joe Mixon isn't necessarily a must start. He probably will do well the rest of the season, but I just think that offense may struggle. So the only one I'm locking in as a must start is Jamar Chase in that situation, in that scenario. All right. I got to go get Tyler now. All right, sorry, people. I'm back. I'm here, and I'm ready to answer more questions. And Tyler is finally here, too. What do you know?
Throw some questions my way, baby.
Throw some questions in the goddamn chat. And also, wait for it. Jake, where you at?
That was your cue.
All right, we did actually get a start sit question in one of our comments, on one of our comments from a past video.
I'm here.
Oh yeah, and Jake's here, and Pickle is also here. Now quit fooling around because we need to give the people
Pickle, long time no see.
the answers to win their fantasy football league here.
Stay tuned for Pickle's prop bet of the day.
Pickle props. Pickle props. Pickle
These are
props.
must-hit bets. He has a 100% hit rate. Pickle's
Yep.
never lost.
Pickle has never lost a parlay. He wins. He's up $10,000 this season. All right. Please pick two between Eckler, Mixon, Hunt, and James Cook.
Mixon and Eckler.
Mixon and Eckler. Yeah, I say the same exact thing. Mixon and Eckler. And then Justin Herbert, Fields, or Kyler Murray.
What is it?
Justin Herbert, Fields, or Kyler Murray.
Fields, Herbert, Kyler. Mm-hmm. Who's Herbert going up against?
The Ravens.
And who's Kyler going up against?
The Giants. Who the heck are they playing? The Rams.
I think I'm going Kyler.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely more upside with Kyler for sure.
I think it's between Herbert and Kyler, but I think I'm going
Fields, I go Kyler too because it's still a safe. Like he's guaranteed to get you like 18 points.
Yeah, he's playing well too.
But like with Justin Herbert, that's kind of a safe one as well. But I don't know, that offense has not looked too great this season. And then, but honestly, Justin Fields and Kyler Murray do have the highest upside.
All right, next starter sit question. Do you do salt, pepper, ketchup on the bacon?
Hell yeah, dude. I put ketchup on my breakfast. I put ketchup on my eggs.
I don't know. Do you think they automatically put salt and pepper on there if you don't, like, if places don't ask?
Probably.
I feel like they should.
Probably. All right, we got another question in the chat here. Shout out. Appreciate you. Chris Olave, Devante Smith, or Trent McBride.
One of them?
I guess, yeah. So okay, so basically Chris Olave or Devante Smith.
Who do the Saints got?
Trey McBride. That's
Who do the Saints play?
Who do the Saints play this week? The Saints play the Falcons in a must-win NFC South matchup.
I'll go Chris Olave. Michael Thomas is out. Devante Smith's been up and down.
I feel like
so
because
Olave, but
because Devante Smith had a big game last week, he's not gonna have a big game this week.
I feel that.
I think they get AJ Brown back involved into that offense. But I mean, like Devante Smith could also go off. But yeah, I think Chris Olave is the featured guy in his offense, where he's gonna get the targets. Your dad said Lane Johnson's questionable.
Yeah.
He probably will play. Isn't he questionable every game? I feel like that offensive line is always injured, and they're just the biggest dogs in the NFL.
It ends up playing.
Pick two: Javonte Williams, James Conner, Ramondre Stevenson. I go Javonte Williams and Ramondre Stevenson. Javonte Williams has started to really come alive after, like, I feel like his injury kind of slowed him down. James Conner.
I think James Conner, and I think I might be tempted to sit Ramondre. I feel like Ramondre has yet to really come into his own this year, but
I know. Well, also if it's PPR, I go Ramondre just because he is more of a pass catching back.
and Zeke's been more involved than
But
I thought he would be.
But Ramondre, the past few games has been pretty good. He has definitely had a disappointing season. I kind of just think, Zeke has been better than expected, and I think that offense is just bad. I mean, Mac Jones. I'm actually curious. Do we even know if Mac Jones is starting today?
I'm not sure.
It was a very typical. Did you see Bill Belichick's answers when they asked about that? Very
I
typical.
didn't see this week's one, but I've seen it in the past.
Very typical Bill Belichick answer, and he's just like, "I told everyone to be ready," and then they asked a follow-up question. He's just like, "I told everyone to be ready." Gives you okay. It does say Mac Jones is starting. Oh yeah, expected to start Sunday. I see it right here. Expected to start Sunday's games against. Well, that's annoying because I want Bailey Zappi to start. I have no Week 14 quarterback right now.
No Week 14.
Kyler Murray and Sam Howell are both on the bye Week 14.
Well, it works out for you.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter really.
Yeah, gives you a better chance of losing than tanking.
Yeah, well, I don't have my own pick, so.
Oh, shit.
Instead, I need Gallo to lose. All right, let's see.
Gallo's going to be a scary squad in the playoffs. Saying that now.
Yeah, he would be. I hope he doesn't make the playoffs. All right, let's see. Anyone else important here not starting this early window? Kendre Miller.
What's up?
Treylon Burks is once again out. Yeah, if you own Treylon Burks, it's big time. Big time should sell him for whatever you can possibly get. How about Calvin Ridley going off last week?
Yeah.
Are you back in? Do we think that's what do we see from him the rest of the way?
I think that's closer to what we should expect than what we have when he really struggles. But I think what he's good for is being a consistent, like getting those 5 receptions for 40 and then maybe catching a deep one for a touchdown. I don't expect him to catch 2 of them, but I do think he's a guy who you can expect 10 from each week.
True. Can you hear Tyler? Let us know because I don't know if this mic is going to pick you up from over there, honestly. But
I'll yell, "Hey!"
Yeah, there you go. It's kind of picking you up. Okay. What was I going to say? Wait, what did I just ask? Oh, Calvin Ridley. Oh, yeah, that offense just has not looked good until last week.
Yeah, they're starting to stop. Where are you checking our producer?
Luckily, our producer is here
All right, good.
checking in on our audio.
Audio's good.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence finally. That's also very big for Gallo. He needs Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields to look good the rest of the way.
Yeah, that was a big week for T-Law.
Yeah, that Justin Fields coming back and like putting up numbers, putting up fantasy points, and Trevor Lawrence huge bounce back last week.
I need Jacksonville to get Etienne more involved though. He's
really
best,
good.
He's their
He's
best
very
player,
good.
and they didn't use him the entire first drive of the second half last week. Obviously, it didn't end up mattering, but I thought he was hurt. I was like, did he get hurt right before the half, and then came out the next one?
Oh, we got a very important question from user @Jake. He said, "Should I pick up Aaron Rodgers?" It's actually an interesting question.
It is a good question. In Dynasty, if he's on waivers, absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, in redraft, if you're desperate for a quarterback, the fact that Aaron Rodgers is even coming back at all to me is like absolutely insane. Like he shouldn't. He absolutely shouldn't.
Yeah, you're
for his own health. For his own
doing
good.
it for the fun of it.
He's doing it because he's Aaron Rodgers and he's got a big ego and he wants to let everyone know that he's the man and he can overcome anything. But regardless, I actually did pick him up in the league where I had Joe Burrow go down, and I felt very desperate at the time. So I did pick up Aaron Rodgers, and he's supposed to start practicing in a couple weeks. So, I mean, yeah, if you're in a super flex league, any starting quarterback is valuable. And so if Aaron Rodgers actually starts games at the end of this season, he's valuable. He should be rostered.
I feel like when your quarterback gets hurt in a super flex league, it's just all-time panic mode at that point.
Yeah.
That's happened to me like 3 times, and I get a trade done within 24 hours just because in my head I'm like, oh, I need to get something done.
Yeah, exactly. You probably overpay, but sometimes you kind of need to if you're down that bad. If you have a contending team. That is. Let's see. I was going to go find this dude. Okay, I got some more start sets coming in here. Okay. Pick 3. Etienne, Singletary, Olave, Nico Collins, and Josh Downs.
Probably Etienne, Olave, and and Nico Collins.
Yeah, that is definitely.
Josh Downs maybe over Nico Collins, but probably Nico Collins.
I mean, objectively, Nico Collins is better than Josh Downs. I mean, yeah, especially right now in that situation, in that offense.
I do think you said this a couple weeks ago when I wasn't on. I think Tank Dell's the clear number 1 there, and Nico Collins is more of a 2 now.
Yeah, it's possible. I also think it's very possible that next year they go trade for another wide receiver that's like a true wide receiver 1, and neither of them end up being a wide receiver 1.
I agree with that too.
But with what they've already done in this season with CJ Stroud, like that offense is going to be dangerous in the
People
future.
need to pump the brakes on the Texans a little bit though. Like they're better than everyone thought, and CJ Stroud's amazing. But
I'm just saying their future.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying just like people in general. They're like, and like I do not think CJ Stroud is in the MVP consideration. I think that's ridiculous statement to make right now.
It maybe not anymore, but if 2 weeks ago you were saying CJ Stroud's in the MVP conversations, you should also say Sam Howell is in the MVP conversation. Which, like, I disagree, but yeah, I mean,
not wins wise.
But yeah, that's true. But at that point, like people were even saying it, and that the Texans are in a playoff spot now, but people were saying it when they were like on the outside looking in. They were like borderline playoff spot.
Yeah, I just think people need to pump the brakes on him.
Yeah, pump your goddamn. Well, yeah.
Sam Howell too. I think Sam Howell's a big sell this season candidate.
God damn it!
What?
I've come to the realization. I'll say it. I've come to the realization that I think in Dynasty, I did not trade Sam Howell at the trade deadline, but I do believe that Sam Howell this offseason is a very good sell high because his value. Because yes, he is going to. I believe he will be the starting quarterback next season, and
he will be the starting quarterback somewhere, most likely Washington.
Yeah. I believe that they deserve to give him another chance. I believe he's shown that unless he starts looking absolutely awful the rest of the way. But so like in the sense of if you're in a super flex league in Dynasty next year, he's a starting quarterback. Every starting quarterback is value. If they're starting the entire season, there's a lot of value. But his value might drop off the face of the planet the season after that because he may not be a starter anymore after next season.
Now here's a question for you. In Dynasty, who do you rather have, Josh Dobbs or Sam Howell? And let's say just meet in middle of the road situation, like you have a shot at this year, but like you're definitely not the best team.
Like this season, or in Dynasty, like
in Dynasty in general, like let's just say going forward, Like,
yeah.
it's nothing this season, Matt. Like, don't take this season into account like you're trying to win or anything, but just say, who would you rather have? Who's a better dynasty player you would rather have on your roster right now, Josh Dobbs or Sam Howell?
I mean, to me, it's Sam Howell just because you technically don't know. Like, it could be like Jalen Hurts that first. He's not that level, but I'm just saying, like, you're always in a situation with these quarterbacks where you're trying to figure out if they're the guy or not. And right now, I'm leaning back the other direction. But there was points in Jalen Hurts' first year or two that I was leaning the other direction too. So the verdict is kind of still out on him. He's a young guy. If he becomes a franchise quarterback, you've got a great starter for the next 5-10 years, whatever.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs is never going to be a starter. I think best case scenario for Josh Dobbs' career arc is like a Baker Mayfield type thing where he ends up settling down on a team. Isn't great, like middle tier quarterback, Geno Smith type, where it's like they're not anything special, not top 10, but may have a top 10 season. But you know he's not going to be elite. But I also think we know Sam Howell's not an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
But he very well could. I think they're actually very similar. I think the reason I bring it up is they're very similar players with very similar potentials. One's just way younger. So I think I'm going Sam Howell in this situation.
Just because he's younger, yeah. And exactly.
I also am thinking of it as like as far as pump the brakes, I think Dobbs, people need to pump the brakes on too.
Big time. And honestly, he wasn't good last week. So.
No, he wasn't. He makes exciting plays. He's a fun story. He's a great guy. Like, he's fun to like hear in his interviews. He's fun to interact with the fans. But like, I do not think in any way he's like some league winner or even a good quarterback.
He's a great backup quarterback.
Yeah,
is what
exactly.
he is. Like, he has the skill set to in short periods of time show almost close to elite level, and that's what every backup quarterback is. It's like. They can do for the most part everything that a starting quarterback can do. It's more about the consistency.
And a backup quarterback, their one benefit over the starter is that teams don't game plan for you. So someone like Josh Dobbs, who plays very different than the quarterbacks who are like, let's say, the Vikings. Before he went to the Vikings, like they're game planning for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Game plan very different for Josh Dobbs or Cardinals. I mean, I guess like you weren't game planning for Kyler Murray, but so like I guess you're like looking at Clayton too, but like quarterbacks that aren't anything like that. So when you come in, you have that element of surprise, especially when you're someone who runs the ball a lot and he's able to score a lot of touchdowns running, which was why I feel like his fantasy stats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he can rush the ball better than Kirk Cousins for sure, 100%. Yeah, and also, yeah, Baker Mayfield is honestly like he's likely going to be. I feel like he's likely going to be a starting quarterback next year.
Oh, I think for sure.
Probably for the Buccaneers.
I don't see why not. I feel like they're at a point in there, like Evans and Godwin's. I don't know what happened to Godwin. Falling off.
I don't get that at all.
Like Evans is still good, but like they're nowhere near competing at this point.
But they've already won too many games to go get like a top 3 pick, basically.
Yeah, I think Baker's just a guy who you can feel confident in.
Yeah. All right, we got another question in the chat here. Appreciate you for asking. TS, pick 2, PPR, Mixon, Kyren, Puka.
I think I'm going Mixon and Puka. Kyren's just coming off IR. That backfield in general, I don't really know what's going on there. And Puka with Cooper Kupp not banged up a little bit. I think he's a good play there, especially scored a touchdown last week. And Mixon is another one coming off a great week last week.
Yeah, I agree. Same thing. Mixon and Puka for me. Yeah, that the Rams backfield, it's like Rams backfield. Honestly, in the past, Eagles backfield, but Ravens backfield. I mean, now it's a little bit more clear for the Ravens, but like those are some backfields I've stayed away from all season long. And Kyren coming off injury, like you said. But by the way, Cooper Kupp, he's playing. He's good to go. It looks like he didn't finish the game last week, I don't think.
No, he'll play, but I mean, still, I think he's gonna be somewhat of a decoy.
Yeah, it's possible. He doesn't have an injury designation, but he has to be injured. Well, he did earlier in the week. He did, but now he doesn't. Let's see. Mike Evans, Devante Adams. Wait, where did it just go? Okay, yeah. Mike Evans, Devante Adams, or Demario Douglas?
I think I'm going. See, I'm gonna side with Mike Evans, just because even though Devante Adams caught a touchdown from Aiden O'Connell last week, that throw looks like he just chucked that thing up there, and then by the grace of God, people tripped over each other and fell into Devante Adams' hands.
You're not an Aiden O'Connell fan?
I don't trust him to be able to get the ball out there. But I mean, the Raiders do have something going on there, so maybe ride that too. I don't think you can go wrong with picking either Evans.
This is the week the Raiders finally lose. They're playing the Chiefs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the Chiefs are going to be.
The Chiefs need, it's a must win for the Chiefs. Absolute must win for the Chiefs. So, yeah, they're going to get up for it. I like Mike Evans. He's been pretty consistent all year. Actually proved me wrong because I thought Mike Evans was dying out at the end of last year until that week, whatever it was, week 16 or 17 game that he had that we went off and won people championships. He won a lot of fantasy championships, but before that, I thought he was slowing down.
I think a lot of people thought that with Keenan Allen too, but that dude.
Yeah.
He used to have 40 last week. He dropped a touchdown.
Connor LaRose asked us a question. Appreciate you, Connor. All right, pick 4. Full PPR. We're going to have a list of names coming. Swift, Bijan, Ramondre, Warren, McBride, and Kincaid.
I think I'm going Bijan, Warren, Swift, and who's do I choose from?
You have Ramondre, McBride, and Kincaid left.
I think Ramondre.
Yeah, I agree with that, but the only thing I would be tempted to do is Dalton Kincaid as well.
See, I feel like the Eagles figured something out with they didn't figure something out, but Byard clearly can cover tight ends who can catch. And I see them doing something very similar with Kincaid.
That's true.
They did with Kelsey.
That's true. And I think Ramondre has started to look better lately as well. So, and by the way, Jaylen Warren, I'm extremely excited for the rest of the season.
Jaylen. One of my leagues, I have Warren and Najee, and to be honest, I'm not mad at. Like, it's funny at the beginning of the year, I was like, sell everything in Pittsburgh, but I don't mind Najee even right now. He's not an RB1, but he's not a complete bust at this point.
He's a low end flex for sure. Like,
he's not what people were. Remember those videos that we were talking about at the beginning of the year where it literally looked like he's running in slow motion. I know. That's not what he is. He definitely can run more, but Jaylen Warren is the guy who's going to be a way higher upside and is the for sure player you want in Dynasty.
I think this offense starts to look a little more creative. They're going to realize
they fired Matt Canada, right?
Yeah, because they fired Matt Canada. I think Steelers fans everywhere just rejoice for that.
That video of who was it, Chris Boswell? It was some kicker who was he was hyped up, hugging Tomlin, and then he was like, "Not thanks to you," literally right behind it. That's crazy at any point,
dude. It was and there was one where they won the game on this crazy play.
And he wasn't even hyped. He was just sitting there.
And people were like, "It's clear that he didn't call this play." Or
yeah, he's like, "From the draw, I called the draw."
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, so honestly, Jaylen Warren, I like. Najee, I like a little bit, but I think Jaylen Warren right now is the more talented back, honestly. Or a back that they can use in that offense. It will look better in that offense.
They get him into space a lot more, so there's a way better chance of scoring.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing, is James Conner just really that one-sided?
Najee Harris?
Or Najee Harris. Is Najee Harris that one, he doesn't have anything else in his game besides running it up the middle?
I do think he's a big body DeMarco Murray-esque player where it's you just got to get him going north and south, and once he starts beating up defenses, I think that's how it should be used. They should be going Jaylen Warren, and then by the third, fourth quarter when they're dead, what the Eagles did with LeGarrette Blount in the Super Bowl year.
Yeah.
And just pound him up the middle, because he is an athletic, strong running back. He's just not one that's going to bust it for 60 outside.
I feel like Najee is also a guy where he may need to get 20 touches and he may look bad for the first 10, but the second 10 he's going to just ball out.
What do you think with a player who is getting the Najee Harris treatment a little bit? You're not seeing as much because he's getting success touchdowns wise and just overall has a couple big plays, but I saw a couple tweets about Austin Eckler saying that he looks like he's like completely slowed down because on one of his breakaways he got caught from behind by someone.
Yeah, that, and didn't he fumble a ball last week too? Maybe, I don't know.
I'm not sure if he fumbled or not.
I don't know. That offense has just looked bad. No, I mean, he's looked good all season.
Yeah, I mean, he is hurt for half of it, but when he does play, he looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's still a must start every single week.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he fumbled the ball last week. And I think last week was just a bad game for him. And it was kind of just a bad game for that entire offense. But other than that, that's the only game.
Keenan Allen, he's the only one.
Yeah, that's the only game where I was like, wow, Austin Eckler looks bad. It's not like it's been a string of games or anything.
And he still
like
put
that.
up like 6 or 7. But I just thought that was interesting. I think it's funny when people take highlights of one game or like one play and try to like say that play was like indicative of a player's success moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So the thumbnail obviously for this was Jackson Smith and Jigba. So I just gotta say, that's my freaking baby. That is my absolute golden child
He won
right
me a
there.
Thanksgiving parlay. I needed him to get. I think he took his line at like 35 yards or something, and that one crazy catch he had was what got him over.
Dude, is it not obvious that they need to get him more involved in that offense?
Yeah,
like
good.
He is absolutely good. If you can make catches like that, he's been making catches. They teach that at Ohio State, bro. They're just like teaching one-handed catches out here.
Speaking of Ohio State, but Marvin Harrison Jr. looked so smooth yesterday. Even though they lost, they were just like at the last drive. The announcers were like, you got to get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. And they literally just chuck it up to him, and he just like no emotion, just wide open. I don't get it. It's like everyone knows you're trying to pass to him.
Yeah,
I cannot wait for him to be in the league.
I know he is going to be very, very good.
I also never realized like the last couple weeks that Marvin Harrison Sr. and Jr. obviously are both Philly dudes.
Yeah, they are. I'm pretty sure that one of my friends is like related to them, honestly.
Well, crazy thing, when I found that out, it made sense because when I at Temple, when I worked the Fran Dumpy basketball camp, or it's like the AAU like camp that he does, and like random teams come in, Marvin Harrison was there. And I'm guessing he was watching Marvin Harrison Jr., but like I didn't know who Marvin Harrison Jr. was when he was in high school or anything. And I remember everyone's like, "Oh, that's Marvin Harrison." So the crazy thing is, I saw Marvin Harrison Jr. play at a AAU basketball tournament in high school.
Yeah, another name like very early rookie watch. Another name that's come across my radar, Malik. So this wide receiver class is going to be like really good, I think.
It's another good class.
Like I think I don't know if this past class was really that good. Looking at it now,
quarterbacks,
wide receivers.
Well, you got this year.
You got some surprising
Puka,
stuff.
Downs, Jaden Reed. No like studs. You don't have like not like
it was deep.
You have
it was
like
deep.
Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, the big names like that.
Yeah,
Drake London.
Yeah, I mean, like Jordan Addison will be good in his career.
JSN will be good.
Will be good, but nothing.
The later ones are the ones who are doing good now with Puka, Josh Downs, Jaden Reed, and all those guys who I was naming before.
Yeah, I guess it's also true that like in recent history, like in the last few years, there's been receivers who have just like immediately been successful, and that's honestly not really how like it normally works. I feel like it takes a few years for wide receivers to be like worked into their offense, like JSN will probably be next season.
Yeah, the ones that are like hard to wait and see, and it's interesting because like we're still like I feel like even though we've been doing Dynasty for like 5 years, I feel like I'm still like picking up on trends. But like a player like Jason Brownlee or Cedric Tillman, like are they even worth if you just don't play at all your rookie year as a receiver, like do you have a shot at being relevant? Or is it just like obviously you have a shot, but like what are those percentages? Is it worth holding on to those guys?
Yeah.
Because like going into the year, Cedric Tillman, I was like thinking he's like second, third round talent, and now it's like he hasn't. I think he's caught one pass this year.
Well, it's like Jameson Williams, like just the way his career started.
But he is a top 20 pick.
I don't think he'll ever be a featured wide receiver in any offense. Like
no, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, he went from being someone who people looked at as being like Madison is, and
yeah, exactly. Like they thought that. I mean, him and Amon Ross still hadn't like fully proven himself yet at that point.
Yeah, he was a surprise breakout that year.
Yeah. For sure. But I was just gonna say, so there are wide receivers. There are multiple wide receivers. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. But I think there's other wide receivers in next year's draft class that would have been picked over even JSN or any of the wide receivers in this past years. And Malik Neighbors from LSU is like one name that has big time moved up the board and come across the radar.
I don't have any picks this year, so I'm gonna need to.
You'll get some.
I'll get some, and I'm gonna have to pick straight. Yeah, I need to get them just to motivate myself to start looking at the players. I think the only pick I have is like someone else's third and a fourth.
Well, that's why I feel like it'll start. And this is what happens, and this is why draft picks in Dynasty are more valuable as closer to the draft. So if you hold on to those draft picks and you trade them closer to draft time, or even in the middle of draft, their value does go up because
I'll tell you what, a player's peak value is right after they're drafted and Sleeper loads their photos up onto the thing.
Yeah.
Photos. That is their peak.
They're like, damn, this guy looks like a baller.
That's what I mean. People treat that as if like they are their absolute peak. Like when you hear this offseason, if you were Jordan Addison, you imagined a player who was going off for 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns. He could do that at some point still, but I feel like people just like, when they're drafted, it's so easy just to like only look at the positives and be excited and want to like get a piece of that. So I agree with being ready to trade. So like you could trade players for picks, trade those picks for players. Like you really can go crazy in one offseason.
Yeah, and you're definitely, as the draft gets closer, you're going to be more excited for it, and you're going to want picks. You're going to be like, I need to go get draft picks.
Well, last year I didn't even have picks till like this point. And this point I realized, like right before the trade deadline, I realized I wasn't going to make or be able to compete for a championship. So I sold everyone and got like 8 first-round picks.
Yeah, exactly.
You do it really quick. And then like I had a bunch for this year after that as well because I got them for multiple years, and now I have none. So it's like you can just recycle them.
Yeah, my thing with Sam Howell is even if I can trade him for a first this offseason, that just like sucks because then I'll just be looking for a quarterback again.
Yeah, I feel like he's someone you hold on to until you can like package him with someone else
to get a quarterback. Yeah, I should upgrade. That's what I should do. I should upgrade. I would easily package him with a 25 first to go get like a Joe Burrow level player.
Yeah, I think if you did like a first, a second, and like
I should have done that at the deadline. Because I did inquire about Sam Howell for Joe Burrow because I saw someone on Twitter do that. I'm like, this probably isn't fair, but like, it may not. If you're trying to win this season,
this would be the time to do it too, because that was when Joe Burrow was.
When Joe Burrow got injured and he went down for the season, then I'm like, can I flip Sam Howell for Joe Burrow? Like that sounds insane, and it probably isn't a good trade for the Joe Burrow owner. But if you're ready if you're trying to win a championship this season, Sam Howell could be a quarterback that could step in there and get you a lot of fantasy points.
I think if I was a Joe Burrow owner and I wanted to win a championship, thought I could still win a championship with Sam Howell, I would want Joe Burrow for Sam Howell and like 2 firsts.
Yeah. And here's Zaire. All right, it's time for Zaire's pick of the week. But yeah, so I'm probably going to try to upgrade with Sam Howell this offseason. So for all of my league mates out there listening, I'm trading. I'll trade him for Dak, dude. Straight up.
Sam Howell for Dak. Dak's nice though.
Yeah, I know, but this offseason, after you win a championship, Dak's getting old.
Honestly, that I wouldn't be that opposed to that at that point.
So I'm saying it's not that bad of a trade all around.
It wouldn't be bad.
It's like what we said. Like we could say, oh, maybe it's time to trade Sam Howell. But if you would choose like Sam Howell or some of these quarterbacks, like the verdict is still out on him. He's still a young quarterback.
I think he's my quarterback room's old for sure.
That's where I go back and forth because I'm like, there was a time where I doubted Jalen Hurts, even though I wanted him to succeed. I was never a hater on Jalen Hurts. I always wanted him to succeed, but I definitely doubted him. And it's just hard. If here's what I truly believe.
And there's players that I've been all in on who would end up being an ass.
If Washington brings in a coach or maybe Bieniemy or something, but I don't even think he's been that good this season. I don't because he's calling the offensive plays, and I don't think he's helped that much, even though in the past he's been very good. But has a good head coach, maybe brings in another wide receiver, helps shores up that offensive line. If they do everything that a good franchise should do with their young quarterback, then I think he has a legitimate chance of succeeding.
And you had Josh Harris over there.
But I do not trust Washington. Even still, it's still a bad franchise, and I don't trust Josh Harris either. I don't trust Josh Harris. If you're a Washington fan out there, Josh Harris is your Lord and Savior because he's not Dan Snyder. Like, this guy came in and saved your franchise. But in reality, Josh Harris isn't that good of an owner. Like, just know it because we're Sixers fans. Just know it.
I just think it's something that other owners legitimately had to tell them to pay attention to your basketball team.
Did they actually tell them to pay attention to?
Yeah, that's like they released the timeline of the Harden trade, and part of the timeline was like NBA owner reaches out to Josh Harris to tell him to pay attention to his basketball team.
Damn,
I don't
wild.
know if that's 100% true, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they're like, you literally have a dump. You're showing up on Sunday Night Football.
Well, I was thinking that.
Meanwhile, you have a player over here who's going on media saying that they don't trust your GM or want to play for you.
And Josh Harris is like dancing in the locker room for a pregame Washington.
Like, pay attention to your NBA team. Get over there. And that's exactly what's going to happen to Washington at some point.
Your GM is under fire by your superstar player, and you're just in Washington with your
brand new head coach, first time out there, reconstructed roster.
Oh my God, yeah. So Sam Howell verdict's still out. I don't know if they're going to put everything they need to around him. We're under 10 minutes to kick off. Hit that subscribe button. We do this every Sunday to help you win your league. Follow us on Twitter at DBDFB, at DBDFB, at DBD Fantasy Football, everywhere else, on TikTok, all that good shit. But, hey, let's go Birds.
Go Birds.
And, hey, we're Bills fans too, but not today. Not today.
Lane Johnson might be out.
We're going to be having some.
He said it's questionable.
We're going to be having some. Hey, listen. I'm gonna piss off every Bills fan right now, and this is how we're gonna end it. It's ranch over blue cheese, motherfuckers. It's ranch over blue cheese, and I eat the drums over the flats. It's not true, but anyways.
No, flats are better.
But ranch is better.
Your ranch is better. I'm with you on